All right, and we're here live here from the Lions Pride Sports Broadcast Mansion for the Lions Roar podcast with myself, Miller Sarge Waters, and the coach Amado Galvez. We had a little bit of some technical difficulties to get things started, but we are back and we are live once again here on the Lions Roar on the Lions Pride Sports Broadcast. We had a couple of football games that took place for Caldwell County high school teams. Of course, Lockhart Lions went to Bob Shelton Stadium, fell to 1-2 as the Lockhart Lions took a tough loss, 41-31 against the Lehman Lobos, and the Luling Eagles visited House Snow Park for the first time and came out victorious, defeating Austin Eastside 47-0. Of course, we're here joined with the voice of Luling Eagles Sports broadcast, Eric Lugo, and we'll talk more about Luling Eagles Sports football coming along. But, big loss for the Lockhart Lions this past week, Coach, and of course, we saw flashes of greatness for the Lockhart Lions, but it was a lot of the I would say technical stuff, little stuff here and there that made miscues.
And before we go any further, Charles, I'm sure you feel the same way as I do, and it's always been our policy here at Lion Pride Sports Broadcast. We're going to support the players. We're never going to criticize the players for their effort because they're kids and they're doing the best they can.
Yeah.
And we're going to support them 100%. Me and Sarge love our players, love our kids. We when you say something bad about them, we feel offended. Like they're like our sons.
Yeah.
And we're going to support them all the way, and we're going to back them. They're going to make mistakes, and we had a few mistakes on Friday. But hey, they're just kids. They're doing the best they can, and I guarantee you they're going to come back this week and work hard and get those things corrected. And same thing with the coaches. We support the coaches. Being a coach myself, I know how hard these guys work. I mean, they leave their house about 4:15, 4:30 in the morning. They're on the field at 6. Then they got to teach class the whole day. It's a long day for them, and they work extremely hard, and they're doing the best they can.
Yes,
so we support them 100%, not just the players, but the coaches and all those people that put in the hard work over there at Lockhart High School.
Yeah, as Coach mentioned, I'll pretty much echo what you said. Support the kids, the student athletes, and the coaching staff as well.
Yes.
I mean, because we're not out there on the sidelines.
No.
So and of course up in the press box we heard what was going on up in the press box. The coaches are doing everything they can, but sometimes that's not the way the football bounces.
Yeah.
So
you win some, you lose some.
Yeah, exactly.
And me and Sarge was just as disappointed after the game as the coaches and the players were. We cried all the way home. It was a tough loss, and one of those games that you feel like you should have won, but we didn't. But we got to come back this week.
I told you I wasn't crying, Coach. It was allergies. It was allergies. All right. Of course, we got some high school football to talk about. Of course, Dallas Cowboys playing tonight against the New York Giants, and we'll talk about that towards the end of the podcast. And, of course, a big win for the Texas Longhorn folks against Alabama at Alabama, which was very impressive. And we'll talk about that, too. Of course, big Texas showdown, the I-35 showdown between Texas State and UTSA took place. And, of course, a couple of Texas State alumni over here. Of course, I believe Coach was there when it was Southwest Texas State. So
was I, technically.
It was Texas Teachers College.
I tell you what, Texas State and Southwest Texas State does produce a whole bunch of teachers that come to the area and teach around, not just in Lockhart, but area schools up in Austin, ISD, Seguin, all around this area.
Luling,
yeah. So big things coming up. Of course, we're going to try and wrap up week 3 as quick as possible. Of course, Lockhart Lions fell to the Lehman Lobos 41-31 at Bob Shelton Stadium. Next week, the Lehman Lobos will be taking on Seguin at Bob Shelton Stadium, and Lockhart Lions will be welcoming the Davenport Wolves for the final non-district game of the year. And I
believe it's senior night also,
yeah.
Sarge.
So, senior night. So, last district game of the season before we head to district play in 2 weeks against Cedar Creek. This is going to be a big game to where Lockhart has to fix those miscues that they had this past week, and not just in week 3, but week 2 and week 1. Even in a victory, there's still stuff that needs to be improved on.
Oh, yes.
And I'm pretty sure against Davenport, which is a good squad.
Very good football team.
Very good football team. They lost to Piper last week on a last-second field goal, 34-31. So it's going to be a big test for Lockhart. and see where we're going to be pretty much at heading into to district play. And I'm pretty sure Coach Mavis, Coach Gilbert, and the rest of the coaching staff, they're going to want to make a statement in this game. And I think, I firmly believe the Lockhart Lions are going to show what they're going to amount to the rest of the season from here on out.
Yes, sir. And we've got the Davis boys coming to town. If for those you remember, the Coach Les Davis has two of his sons coaches at Davenport, Brandon Davis and Stephen Davis, and they're bringing their football team to Lockhart, and I'm sure they're going to have those guys up to play Lockhart.
Oh, yes. And, of course, big win for the Luling Eagles this past Friday night at House Park Stadium, 47-0.
No Park. Now y'all got me saying it.
So how was y'all? First, victory, y'all took over, pretty much demolished Eastside. What was y'all's experience at House Park and the view that y'all got to see out there?
Well, a very nice view. I mean, you could see pretty much Austin skyline over there, and just really nice. I think what was really surprising to me is that before we got started with the broadcast, I looked over to their sideline or their side of the field, and there was hardly anyone there. And my first thought was like, this is their home game, right? I mean, there's hardly anyone on their side of the stands. We definitely had way more fans on our side of the stands than they did. I mean, it looked more like a home game for Luling than it did for Austin Eastside. Of course, we had someone. We did the JV game. Logan Pettis and I did Thursday, and we had someone come up there and specifically tell us there is no memorial. It's Austin Eastside. So we had to, make sure we didn't say memorial. So when I made sure and changed on the scoreboard, I had an AEM and I had to take the M off, so it just ended up AE, so Austin Eastside. So like I said, he was pretty. It was no uncertain terms. Please do not use memorial. We have no memorial in our name. Please do not use that. So
I won't say any names, but a few years back, before Mavis's time, we were playing against Bernie Champion, and someone asked, "Can I stop saying Champion because they're not champions?" Well, that's the name of the school, and on paper it still says Memorial. So
yeah. So anyway, not much. The Eagle offense was very spread out with several different performances, great performances in that game. And so what ended up happening is that those of y'all that follow us on our Facebook page, I posted on there that it was and mind you, let me say that I have nothing to do with picking the player of the game. I'm the one that calls the game, most of it, the play-by-play of it. So most of that falls on Brad Wright and Greg Tracy, and they're the ones that come up with the ideas, about who to give player of the game to. And it was their idea, what I just mentioned, there was great performances all over the place, so they just decided, hey, why don't we give player of the game to the entire varsity team? So that's what we did. But they also did come up with a new award this week, which was LESB Impact Player of the Game. Mm-hmm. And basically what they said that will be this was the first one we gave last Friday evening, and they said it would basically be the player who stood out the most, or players that stood out the most of anyone else on the field that particular ball game. And for this game, for us, it was number 6, Chris Cole. He had an interception. I think it was later in the game. I'm going to say it was probably like in the late third, early fourth quarter. I don't remember exactly when it was. But basically intercepted the ball, ran it back. We thought he could have scored on it, us that were there, but instead he ended up going out of bounds on it. But he still gave the Eagles really good field position that, if I remember correctly, it ended up cashing in on that was one of the many touchdowns that we had in the game. I think we ended up with seven touchdowns. And amazingly enough, we made all our extra points except for a couple of them. One of them was blocked, and then the other one was, I think, just missed. I think he missed it to the right. That's our kicker, Juan Amaro. But other than that, the extra points, which we've struggled with the last few seasons, looked really good among all the other things that look really good for us over there on Friday night. So, great win for the Luling Eagles, but, got to move on now. And next we'll have the Bowling Bulldogs. So, we'll talk about that here in a little bit. But, great game all around for, and for the Austin Eastside Panthers, they really only had one drive where they kind of threatened to score, and it was toward the end of the game. And they had basically 4 shots from the 12-yard line to score, and they didn't end up scoring. And what amazed me about them is they didn't. I think that we were saying they either punted once or not at all. I thought they had punted once, but Brad seems to think they didn't punt at all. So I mean, I'm not sure, but either way, I mean, this is, I mean, the whole game. They had some instances where they had 4th and long, 4th and 12, 4th and 13, I think one time they had like a 4th and 20, but yet every time they went for it. And I think they actually did. I do remember they lined up in punt formation on one particular possession, but they ended up not punting it. They ended up faking it, but it's just that they didn't convert on the first down on that. So, so I don't think they really had a lot of, I don't know what the stats were, but I would have to say that if the Eagles had all the offense pretty much, and their total offense was probably less than 100 yards, I'm pretty confident in saying that. So, but I mean, a great win, but like I said, I got to move on to the next one and see, and we'll be back at home this Friday night.
All right, I was just going to ask you that.
Yeah, and so we're looking forward to that and see how everything goes there. So, but last couple of weeks, folks had their freebies from Mom's Front Porch and Uncle Wiggs. I mean, I'm sorry, not Uncle Wiggs, but Mom's Front Porch and Magnolia Mart. Those two places. Mom's Front Porch, for those of y'all that don't know, they give away a free cup of coffee. Of course, you have to drink it there in her restaurant. And then for Magnolia Mart, he's giving a free taco up to 2 toppings, 1 free taco, so for every win. So so they're liking that. So hopefully we can keep that up for this week. But we'll see, because bowling, we went to their stadium last year, didn't play very well, and definitely didn't win. So we'll see if we can get our revenge for that one, them coming to Luling this year.
Oh, yeah. So before we go any further, I do want to go over a couple of giveaways that we got going on. Of course, we got this Ride in Style to the Lockhart Lions' final road game of the year, thanks to Texas Event Shuttle, which is owned and operated by former Lockhart Lion great himself, Curtis Hawkins, and Lions Pride Sports Broadcast. 5 Lucky Lion fans and their 2 guests will win tickets and a Ride in Style on a Texas Event Shuttle bus to the Lockhart Lions' final road game of the year against the Piper Warriors on October 27th. You stay tuned to the Lions Pride Sports Broadcast for your chance to enter the weekly or bi-weekly drawing. Now I got to change that up, and be one of 5 Lucky Lion fans selected for a road trip. We've had already 2 fans that we've selected, Sylvia Martinez and Deborah Ortiz. So we still got 3 more to give away. Our third one we'll give away. We'll have that drawing next week during our Lions Roar podcast as we get ready to start district play. We'll have that drawing next week. But you still have an opportunity to get your name into the drawing. We got about 30 names already entered into it. So if you want to enter your name into that drawing, even though you've already done it before on a previous broadcast, you could do it again today. Get your name in there. More chances to win this Ride in Style that we're going to have at the end of the season for the final road game of the year. All you got to do is in the comment section type in the words "Ride Along 3." and your name will be automatically entered into that drawing.
And remember, we have 3 rules for that. If you're going to ride the bus with us, is to be early, wear maroon, and be loud.
Oh, yeah. We might as well add another one. Bring your appetite because food will be provided, and tickets will be provided as well, too, for you and 2 of your guests that's going to be taking the ride with you. So, so far we got 6 Lucky Lion fans, 2 winners, and 4 guests, 2 apiece. And next week we will be having our drawing for our 3rd Lucky Lion winner and their 2 guests to join us as well. And our second giveaway that we got is a ticket giveaway for Lockhart Lion home games, courtesy of Kent Riddle Properties on the Lions Pride Sports Broadcast. Every home game we will be giving away some tickets. And this week we will give away tickets here, right? Matter of fact, a little bit later on here, maybe about 30 minutes when we wrap up week 3 of district play. And for District 13-5A and for Lulin's district. Once we wrap that up, we'll have the drawing, and we're going to select 3 winners. The first winner will get 2 free tickets. The second winner will get, 3 free tickets. And the winner number 3 will get 4 free tickets, all courtesy of Kent Riddle Properties and the Lions Pride Sports Broadcast. So big shout out to Kent. Thank him for all he's done for his support of Lions Pride Sports Broadcast and Lockhart Lions Sports, and to offer this opportunity for Lockhart Lion fans to win free tickets to a Lockhart Lion home game. And, of course, we'll be doing that here in about 30 minutes. So, if you didn't get an opportunity to enter your name into this drawing, hey, no worries. We're going to start the next opportunity for you right now. In the comment section, all you got to type in is giveaway. Type in giveaway, and your name will be entered into the next drawing that we're going to be having in 2 weeks right here on the Lions Pride Sports broadcast, or here on the Lions Roar podcast. So get your name in there, get into that drawing, and here in about 30, 35 minutes, we'll be drawing the lucky 3 winners. So, and we are back. All right, as for the Lockhart Lions, the stat line goes like this because Huddle is down, but I want to thank Coach Gilbert. He's always there on the spot to send us, some little stats here and there to make sure that we have something to talk about. As far as passing, Ashton Dickens went 11 for 21, 190 yards and 1 TD. On the season, Ashton Dickens is 39 of 75 for 563 yards, 3 TDs, and 4 interceptions. He is averaging 187 yards per game and 14.4 yards per reception. As far as rushing, Nathaniel Mike Time Gonzalez had himself a night as well. 23 rushes for 142 yards and 1 TD. Ashton Dickens ran the ball 10 times for 73 yards. Along the season, Mike Time Gonzalez has 70 carries for 485 yards and 6 touchdowns, averaging 7 yards per carry. 161 yards per game. And Ashton Dickens, 33 carries, 172 yards, 1 touchdown, 5 yards per carry, and 50 yards per game, which is way down from where Ashton was last year. But, I won't take nothing from that because I know when Ashton is needed, Ashton is going to be there, and those yards that he has right now really means nothing until we get to district play. And I kind of like that, Coach, because he's not taking punishment early in the season. So he's only going to be stronger when district play comes along and going into to the playoffs.
I expect him to have a good game this week.
Yes, especially in this game going into the final non-district game of the year against Davenport Wolves. So as far as a district rundown in scores this past week, we'll get to that. Hayes Hawks defeated the Cedar Creek Eagles 34-14 as the Eagles dropped to 0-3. The 2-1 Piper Warriors defeated the Davenport Wolves 34-31. Liberty Hill Panthers go up to 2-1, and another shootout against Georgetown, defeating the Eagles 45-42. And Kerrville Tivy remains the only unbeaten team in District 13 5A Division II as they defeated the Fredericksburg Battling Billies. Yeah, Battling Billies, 28-12. Always a good, good game between those two.
Battle of Hill Country.
Yeah, and Fredericksburg is 0-3, so
Wow.
that was one of those throw the records out the window. And Kerrville Tivy really didn't make a move until late in the second half.
And Tivy's a 5A school, and Fredericksburg's 4A.
Yes. And then at San Antonio MacArthur, the 2-1 San Antonio Veterans Memorial defeated the Brahmas 45-23. Westwood Warriors and Bastrop in a battle of unbeatens, and Westwood Warriors all over the Bastrop Bears 59-7 as the Bastrop Bears dropped to 2-1. Of course, in our game of the week, Lehman Lobos defeated the Lockhart Lions 41-31 as the Lions dropped down to 1-2. Now, as far as Luna's district, Eric?
That's what I'm looking up right now, and I'm getting right Johnny on the spot here. So the first one, we had talked a little bit about this one yesterday on our way to the Alamo Dome for the which we got held up in traffic, so we had plenty of time to talk about it. They had Interstate 10 closed for some construction of some sort over by Marion. And speaking of Marion, good segue there. The Gonzales Apaches defeated the Marion Bulldogs by a score of 28-14. That's a game we were speaking of. We have a old Luling High School alumni, Keith Cubitt, that coaches over there at Gonzales. So, and of course, your friend
head football coach.
Is the head football coach there. That's
Joey Rivera.
Joey Rivera. I remember Joey. I couldn't remember the last name. And then Llano defeated Crockett by a score of 20-17. Randolph, Universal City Randolph, defeated the team that we're familiar with from the last couple of years, YMLA, the Young Men's Leadership Academy out of San Antonio, 28-21. And then Goliad won big, 63-6 over San Antonio Cole. And let's see, I'll get the other couple. There's a couple here with Ingram Moore were missing, and then I think. Let's see, I said Cole, Blanco, I think is the other one. So I'll get those two here in a moment, Sarge. But all those, that's the rundown of the District 13 3A Division 1.
Okay, well, District Week 3 is in the books as we head on to Week 4. And we'll go through some district games. But right now, we're going to take a quick time out and run some commercial spots. But when we come back, we'll get to week 4 as we look forward to District 13 5A Division II matchups, as well as Luling Eagles matchup for next week coming up on Friday. But we're going to take a quick time out, and we'll be right back with some more of the Lions Roar podcast right here on the Lions Pride Sports broadcast.
Kent Riddle Properties has been the main sponsor of the Lions Pride Sports broadcast since 2020 and has been a big supporter of Lockhart Lion Sports for over 40 years. Lockhart Lion fans all over the world have been able to follow the games on the Kent Riddle Properties scoreboard, as well as being the main sponsor of the Lions Pride Sports broadcast. Kent is also the QA guy for every broadcast. Kent Riddle has been in the real estate business for over 35 years. If you are looking to buy, sale or lease a property in the area, you can contact Kent Riddle at 512-359-0036.
We know it can be hard to follow a dream, even harder to sustain one. However, at Changing Faces Barber Academy, we not only understand, but welcome those walking the path of their reveries. We make it our purpose to teach beyond just a skill set of cutting hair. In fact, we want to help with communication dexterity, give you the abilities to not only build clientele, but to be able to build off one. A good barber is the customer service he or she gives. And that is the mission here at Changing Faces Barber Academy. If you are interested in making a career of becoming a barber, you can visit our website at cfbarberacademy.com. or stop on by at 900 Bug Lane Suite 115 in San Marcos, Texas.
Shields AC and Heating is a small family-owned business located here in Lockhart, Texas. You can count on us for all your air conditioning and heating repairs. Here at Shields AC and Heating we service commercial and residential HVAC system as well as refrigeration, ice machines and walk-in coolers. So, if you're in need of commercial or residential AC repairs you can count on Shields AC and Heating to be there for you by calling us at 512-227-1219. We take pride in your comfort.
Smoke Texas Barbecue puts smiles on faces. Since 1900, Kreitz Market has been putting smiles on faces with every bite of Smoke Texas Barbecue. Located off of Highway 183 at 619 North Colorado Street in Lockhart, Texas, fifth-generation owner Keith Schmidt continues the tradition of providing the best barbecue in Texas with its award-winning varieties of beef, sausage, and pork meats. All Kreitz Barbecue is post oak smoked to perfection under Pitmaster Roy Perez's watchful eye in Kreitz Market's hallowed brick pits. Let Kreitz cater your party or event. Kreitz can assemble a complete barbecue dinner and sides for any event in Central Texas. To get a quote on catering, Kreitz Barbecue Catering Manager Weston Black can be reached at 512-398-2361. That's 512-398-2361. Kreitz Market, open 7 days a week, Monday through Saturday from 10:30 a.m. to 8 p.m. and on Sundays from 10:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. You can find out more about Kreitz Market on their Facebook page or go to KreitzMarket.com. That's www.KreitzMarket.com.
I'm Ross Alexander, founder of the War Room Strength Club. I have been working with individuals and athletes since 2003. I have mentored and worked under the likes of Mike Graham, Bobby Warren, Charles Alston, and first-generation coaches under Mark Ripito. I am also a former two-sport collegiate athlete. I have worked with everyone from those starting their fitness journeys to athletes in collegiate and elite ranks of athletic performance. My ideology is working functional and fundamental strength while also implementing a proactive injury preventative and/or recovery regimen. I hold summer performance camps open for young athletes from 11 years old to the collegiate level. I also take clients all throughout the year at any age and fitness level. Along with a workout program, I also offer services for food intake accountability and meal planning, and also mental and emotional positivity consulting. I look forward to hearing from you. Go Lions.
All right, and we're back here with the Lions Roar podcast with myself, Emilio Sarge Juarez, the coach Amado Galvez, and Eric Lugo, the voice of Luling Eagle Sports broadcast. Before we close the door on week 3 of Lockhart Lion football, we do have some players of the week for Lockhart Lion sports. And Tuesday night, the Lady Lions took the took the court at Lions Den for volleyball action to take on the Seguin Lady Matadors. Unfortunately, the Lady Matadors took control of that game and defeated the Lions 3-0. But we had some outstanding play out there on the court. And our One Goes Fitness Defensive Player of the Game went to number 14, Rakaya Walker. And our Kreitz Market Offensive Player of the Game went to number 8, Kennedy Rowland. So congratulations to those two ladies. They were the players of the game for that night. And, of course, we had some junior varsity action that took place this past Thursday night. And the Lockhart Lions junior varsity players of the game versus the Lehman Lobos went to the One Goes Fitness Defensive Player of the Game was number 3, Dylan White. And your Kreitz Market Offensive Player of the Game was Parker Connor, who had he only had touched the ball 3 times, Coach. But this young man, his 2 first catches went for some great big first downs that Lockhart JV needed. And his third one was a 57-yard touchdown pass from Noel Jaimes. And
I told you, Sarge.
He didn't show some tremendous speed. But I tell you what, he was running like he had mad dogs behind him.
Yeah, I told you. He reminded me of Jason Witten.
Yeah. Jason Witten wasn't the fastest out there, but he was one of the toughest ones out there.
Of course, he probably doesn't remember who Jason Witten was.
Oh, yeah. But I tell you what, if Parker Connor looks at the video of Jason Witten, he'll realize what kind of comparison we're making right there. But what a fantastic game by both Dylan White and Parker Connor, of course, along with Rakaya Walker and the other young lady, Kennedy Rowland, for the players of the game. And on Friday night, Lockhart Lions varsity game, our players of the game against the Lehman Lobos, your One Goes Fitness Defensive Player of the Game went to number 14, Miguel Portillo, number 45, Michael Foster. And, Coach, after coming back and watching the video, which I like to do to make sure we didn't miss anything, I added 56, Joseph Blue, to it. There was a couple of plays where he ran down the running back from behind and brought him down. And he was in there. He only played the second half, but during that second half, he did an outstanding job. And I think because of that, we didn't get to see him play in the first half. But from what I saw in the second half was more than enough and more than worthy enough to add Joseph Blue as one of the One Goes Fitness Defensive Players of the game.
Yes, he did a fantastic job when he was in there.
And, and the Kreitz Market Offensive Players of the game went to number 1, Gage Deutsch, and number 21, Nathaniel Gonzalez. Of course, Gage Deutsch had a great game out there, not just blocking, to which, we see everything.
Yeah.
We don't just see what they do in the catching or, running the routes. In the blocking department, Gage Deutsch had an outstanding game and had that big reception for a touchdown.
Gage, to me, is getting better every week.
Yes, I was just about to say that.
He's really doing a great job out there.
Yeah. And Nathaniel Gonzalez, he may not have created the same numbers he had last week, but he created some great numbers out there on the field. I think 142 yards rushing, a big touchdown of about 36 yards on out. So congratulations to those gentlemen, Gage Deutsch, Nathaniel Gonzalez, Gonzalez, Kreitz Market Offensive Players of the Game, and your One Goes Fitness Defensive Players of the Game, Miguel Portillo, Michael Foster, and Joseph Blue.
I'd like to wish good luck to the JV as they travel to Davenport this Thursday to take on the Wolves over there. Yeah. And we'll be hosting the freshmen from Davenport as they go against our Lockhart Line freshmen.
Yeah.
They're
Still undefeated.
Going on 3 years of being undefeated, and that's awesome. And I expect a good turnout for that game on Thursday.
And if I'm correct, I think the final score against Lehman, it was 28 or 35 to nothing. One of those two. I know it was a shutout.
I know it was 35. I believe it was 35-0.
35-0. So our freshman team is rolling along, and of course, as Coach mentioned, the freshman Lockhart Lions will be our sub-varsity game of the week right here on the Lions Pride Sports broadcast, and they'll kick off at 5:30. We'll go live about 5:15. And, of course, this Tuesday we'll be at Lionsfield.
Yes, sir.
But for what? Junior high night.
Yes, 8th grade Lockhart Lions will be taking on the San Marcos Miller Diamondbacks.
Yes.
Here at Lockhart Line Field. There will be 2 games. A B team game starts at 5:30 and followed by the A game right after.
Yeah, and we'll be there to broadcast both those games in its entirety. So we're getting busy, Coach.
Yeah,
and of course, Trinity Alexander, she's still got some things to work out with her school. But when things start rolling with Trinity and she's ready to rock and roll, Lady Lion Sports is going to be kicking off as well, also even more.
Yes, sir. Just in time for district.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, I think they start district this
they start
Tuesday.
district this Friday. This past Friday, I believe they started it.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
And I know Tuesday they travel to Rouse.
Yeah.
Because I have a niece that plays for Rouse volleyball, and they say, "Hey, Lockhart's coming to town." I said, "Well, too bad they're not bringing barbecue. 'Cause make sure you eat lunch before that, then."
Oh yeah. So all right. Well, that's gonna wrap up week 3 for Lockhart Lion football and Luling Eagle football.
And Sarge, I got those other 2 scores.
Okay.
That I
Oh, that's
mentioned.
right. That's right.
Yeah. And so Blanco, for our friends over at Blanco, they defeated the Comfort Bobcats by a score 39-21. Of course, Comfort used to be in our district before they did the realignment, this most recent realignment. Now we got another one coming up in February. And then Ingram Moore defeated the Harper Longhorns. I believe they're the Longhorns, 35-25. So that rounds out the action in District 13 3A Division 1. And then also y'all were mentioning about sub-varsity. We, like I mentioned earlier, we did do a broadcast Thursday, junior varsity football. Logan Pettis and I did it. And we had a player of the game, number 2, Brayson. I hope I'm saying that young man's first name correctly, Spencer. Its first name is Braecyn. And so he was a player of the game for that particular contest. The Eagles did lose by a score of 28-6. But, he played an excellent game. I don't think he's but about 4'11" or something like that. But he can definitely move. Those legs can move and about 20, 30 miles an hour, it seems like.
Yeah.
And but that definitely a speedy young man. I'm not sure what his classification. I'm sure if he's either a freshman or sophomore, I believe. But I'll have to double check on that. But definitely an athlete to look out for there in the green and white and black in the near future.
Right.
And in the immediate future.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So all right. So before we jump to week 4, let's go through the ticket giveaways one more time. Of course, we got the Ride Along, Ride in Style. If you're going to want to have an opportunity to be one of the last 3 Lucky Lion winners that will be able to invite 2 guests with them, tickets will be paid for, food will be provided, and the ride to and from the stadium will be provided courtesy of Texas Event Shuttle and Curtis Hawkins. If you're going to want to have an opportunity, we're going to have the next drawing to pick winner number 3 will be next week during the Lions Roar podcast, right here on the Lions Pride Sports broadcast. If you want to have an opportunity to win, to be one of the last 3 Lucky Lions winners, all you got to do in the comment section, type in the words "Ride Along 3," and your name will be entered automatically. And right after we take care of week 4, what we got coming up, we'll have the drawing for the free ticket giveaway for this Friday as the Davenport Wolves come to Lions Stadium. And, of course, every home game for the 2023 Lockhart Lion football season, 3 Lucky Lion fans and their guests will be able to see the Lockhart Lions play for free, courtesy of Kent Riddle Properties on the Lions Pride Sports broadcast. To enter the drawing, all you had to do is type in what we asked to type in, and your name will be automatically entered. As for the drawing today that will be taking place here after the commercial break after week 4, it's too late to enter your name into that, but it's never too late to enter your name for the next home game, which it will be the San Antonio Veterans Memorial. Patriots will be coming to Lions Stadium, and that's going to be 3 weeks from now, as we got Davenport this week. We'll be at Cedar Creek, and then we'll be back at home for San Antonio Veterans Memorial. But if you want to enter your name into that drawing for those tickets for the Patriots coming into Lions Field, all you got to do is in the comment section, type in the words giveaway, and your name will be automatically entered into it. Now, just you enter your name into each broadcast one time. So if you watch the broadcast on Tuesday, watch it on Thursday, watch it on Friday next week, and you enter your name at least once into each of those broadcasts, you could enter your name into the drawing for up to about 4 or 5 times. Just depends on how many broadcasts that we have from now until that drawing. So the more you watch, the more you listen, the more chances you get to enter, and a better chance you have to win as well also. So once again, all you got to do is type in the words giveaway, and your name will be entered into the next drawing. As for Ride Along 3, that's all you got to do is type in Ride Along 3, and next week we'll have the drawing for the number 3 winner. So that's what we got going on for the Lions Pride Sports broadcast. Week 3 is in the books. All right. Week 3 is in the books. All right, let's head over to week 4, District 13, 5A Division 2. We got some big matchups coming up.
Yes, we do.
Of course, every district's going to kick off on Thursday night. as the original Pflugerville school, the Pflugerville Panthers. They're 0-3. They will be at Bastrop to take on the 2-1 Bastrop Bears at Memorial Stadium.
Wow, that should be a good ball game there.
Yeah, thoughts of what you think, Coach?
Well, it's going to be I think both teams are in the situation right now that they have to win.
Yeah.
So I expect a good game from Bastrop, and I expect a good game from Pflugerville. It's gonna be. I wish I could attend that game, but we're doing a JV game here for Lockhart. Freshman game for Lockhart.
I'll see if we could get a little stream going on in the press box book for us. And on Friday Night Lights, we have the 3-0 Hallettsville Brahmas, and this is a game I'm interested in too, Coach. At Piper Warriors, the 2-1 Piper Warriors. Hallettsville is a 3A Division I school.
But they're very good.
They're very good. They are very good. They're 3-0 for a reason, and they've beaten some quality teams. I think they've beaten Shiner, and I forgot who else they beat. I had it written down. I just can't find it. But how does a 3A Division I school take on a 5A Division II school?
I tell you what, Piper better be ready because Hallettsville, Brahmas are a very good football team.
Yeah.
They're constantly in the playoffs, constantly every year, and they have that good running back that plays for Texas now, from Hallettsville. So they have a lot of talent. They're a very good program, and I tell you what, Piper better pack a lunch because I tell you what.
That's Jonathan Brooks you're talking about.
Yeah.
He scored a touchdown last night.
Yes.
Yeah. And I remember the first year that we got with the Luling Eagle Sports broadcast, when we were broadcasting over Spreaker, Jonathan Brooks was playing for Hallettsville that time we went out there. So, and that guy got some tremendous talent, and he showed it yesterday against Alabama. And, of course, we'll get to that a little bit later on. And former Lockhart Lion coach, Coach Herman, Brian Herman, has his 0-3 Marble Fall Mustangs heading over to Kerrville-Tybee, and probably one of the longest drives
Yes.
for any team to play against a District 13 5A division. Of course, Kerrville-Tybee had to go there last year. But Kerrville-Tybee is the only unbeaten team in the district. They are 3-0 going up against an 0-3 Marble Falls, and I don't see Marble Falls taking that away from Kerrville-Tybee, especially at Kerrville.
Unfortunately, Coach Herman has a losing streak against Kerrville-Tybee, which started here in Lockhart.
Oh, yeah.
And they continued on in Marble Falls. So
hey, the antlers are a thorn in his side.
Yes.
Or should I say a horn?
Tybee fight never dies, like they say.
Yeah, they should change it to Kerrville-Tybee. Tybee fight never loses to Herman. So. And then we got Liberty Hill, who is 2-1. They'll be hosting the 2-1 Leander Rouse Raiders in another tough game for Liberty Hill. Liberty Hill's given up a lot of points so far this year, especially the last 2 weeks, 80 and 42, 122 points in 2 weeks that they've given up. But for their thing, they've had more than 82 and 45 this past Friday night. So that's what 187. Or 127 points.
Yeah. And people don't realize that if you don't live in that area, but Rouse and Liberty Hill are just down the road from each other. I think maybe 20 minutes separates them. Of course, traffic's much worse over there than it is here. But they're neighborhood rivalries. And Rouse gets up for Liberty Hill, and Liberty Hill gets up for Rouse.
Yeah, they may be 20 miles apart, but 100 yards of playing field is going to determine who's going to go to 3-1, who's going to go to 2-2. And, of course, we got some another good matchup. We got, however you want to say. You want to say Elgin or Elgin Wildcats that are 1-2 going to take on Cedar Creek at Memorial Stadium, who is 0-3. And that's going to be a tough game right there for Cedar Creek, looking to get their first win. They've gone, I believe, 0-13 starting back to last season, and they're desperately looking for their first win. And I'm going to throw my hat in the ring for the Eagles, and I think they're going to pick up their first win this week.
That could be also. That's a little rivalry there because they're pretty not too far. Bastrop and Elgin not too far apart from each other also.
The only thing that separates Cedar Creek and Elgin is Camp Swift.
Yes.
Maybe they should play their game there. And, of course, we got the 1-2 Canyon Lake Hawks at San Antonio Veterans Memorial, 2-1. Of course, Canyon Lake Hawks are a 4A team. If I'm correct, 4A, Division 4A squad. And that's going to be a tough one right there for Veterans Memorial as Canyon Lake runs a slot T formation.
And Canyon Lake's got they have a good. They lost their opening game of the season, but they've come back and putting a pretty good program together.
Yeah, and the final game for District 13 5A Division 2, of course, is the 1-2 Davenport Wolves at the Lockhart Lions here in Lions Field, and Lions, of course, are 1-2. Interesting fact, Coach, the first year that Davenport, or the last year that Lockhart and Davenport played each other, they were both 4-0 or 3-0, looking to go 4-0. This year, both teams are 1-2, and Davenport has lost 2 close games 2 weeks ago against Kerrville Tybee, and then this past week, they lost to a last-second field goal to the Piper Warriors, 34-31.
Yes, sir.
And, of course, we got the Davis brothers coming into town, too.
And then, like I said before, Davenport Wolves are a very well-coached football team, and they're going to be, I guarantee you, they're going to be up for Lockhart, especially with both Davis boys getting those kids fired up for to play against us. Especially they're coming, to them, they're coming back home.
Yeah. And you know what? I enjoy doing the broadcast against Davenport. We got a great viewership through Davenport.
Yes.
A lot of fans has been chimed in. Of course, the coaching staff really appreciated the broadcast that we have. They actually went back and watched the broadcast and got did their own scouting of their own self.
Yes, according to the coaches, they show after the JV game, they'll go back and watch instead of watching the huddle tape, they watched our broadcast on Friday morning. And on Saturday morning, the coaches actually watch our broadcast first before they watch the huddle tape, which is a big compliment to us.
Oh, yeah. So a big shout-out to the fan base and the coaching staff of the Davenport Wolves. I really look forward to this game. And it's going to be a big game. It's a big game for both schools, especially Lockhart coming off of a win, loss thing.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to want to try and turn things around, especially after Lehman Lobos, who picked up their first win in a year and a half as well, too. So big shout-out to the Lobos.
Before we go, I just want to give congratulations to the Lehman Lobos. They showed up to play, and they deserved to win, and they did a great job. I talked to my best friend, Isaac Rodriguez, who's the OC at Lehman, and I told him, hey, you did a great job of calling your offense against us, and congratulations, and good luck next week. But, man, they were impressive. They were impressive. Can't believe they were 0-2, 0-2 football team.
Yeah. But that's, like you said, that's the way the football bounces. And, of course, a couple of plays here, a couple of plays there. Who knows what may have been the difference. But, enough of that. Week 3 is over with. Coaching staff has forgot about Week 3. Players got to forget about Week 3. And us fans got to forget about Week 3 because we got a big matchup against Davenport here at Lions Field this Friday night.
One thing that Coach Saban said to the Alabama football team is, don't let a good team beat you twice. So that means
he looks forward to playing them again next year, later on in the year.
You got to put it behind you and focus on the next opponent. And I'm sure Texas State doing the same thing. Don't forget about UTSA. Monday morning, it's a whole new ball game.
Oh yeah. So, and as far as Lulin's district, what does the matchups look like this Friday night?
Okay, so for the Lulin Eagles, we'll be hosting the Bowling Bulldogs there at Eagle Memorial Stadium. So definitely looking forward to that. The others, let me go see if I can find them. I don't know. Everybody's still in non-district play pretty much, but I do believe that it'll be next weekend, the weekend of the 21st or 22nd or whatever that is. Everyone will be in district play with the exception of one school that'll have of course, we have an odd number of teams. We have 7 teams in our district. The Randolph Roadhawks, let's see, they have – on the 15th, they have John F. Kennedy School that they're going to take on. And, of course, like I said, I mentioned we're playing bowling. Ingram Moore, let's see who they have. They have San Angelo, Texas Leadership Charter Academy. So I'm assuming that's going to be a little bit of a trip for them. So that's San Angelo. That's quite a bit. So then that's Ingram Moore. And then Llano, let's see who Llano's taking on. Llano will be taking on the Coleman team, so that'll be at 7 o'clock. Also, all these games are Friday, September 15th that I've just mentioned. For Blanco, let's see who they have. Blanco has Geneva, and that's going to be a 7 o'clock kickoff on this Friday, the September 15th. And then Cole, let's see who we have for Cole. It's going to be Bandera. They'll be taking on Bandera. I believe they're the Bulldogs, Bandera Bulldogs.
Right.
And that's, again, Friday at 7, September 15th. And then Marion, And let's see here. Marion's going to be taking on, after the loss to Gonzales, they're going to be traveling to Karn City to take on the Karn City Badgers. So that's the rundown of the District 13 3A Division 1. But like I mentioned, the next week, which is looks like it's going to be the 22nd of September, that's when the district play will begin for District 13 3A Division 1.
Okay, so y'all got one more week of non-district play.
One more week of one non-district, and then I'm assuming that all the teams in the district take their bye when it's their turn for it to come up, during the schedule.
Yeah.
In other words, they don't play outside, on an outside team. They believe it, and they don't take a bye prior to district play. Like when the teams, most of the teams that have even number of teams, that's what they'll do. They'll take the bye, and it's usually between the end of non-district play and the start of district play. But in our case, since we have the odd number of teams, we pretty much have to take it during the district season, and in our case, that bye is going to be on October 20th. Okay. So so that's when. So we got a little ways to go before we get there. But this week, like I said, take on bowling at home, and then after that, we have to. Our district schedule will start by traveling to Blanco, and Blanco, my understanding is they're getting a brand new stadium, or they're renovating the one. I'm not sure I know it's somehow going to be new. But I know they said they were still working on it, so I don't know if the work has been completed or not. I haven't been told one way or the other. So Brad Wright knows more about that than I do. So I'll see if I can get some more information on that since the game won't be till the following Friday, not this coming Friday, but the following Friday. Yeah. And then I can bring that back to next week's Lions Word podcast.
All right. So here's a little teaser what we got going on right now. Of course, we're going to have a ticket giveaway. But before that, we're going to take a quick time out and run through a couple of commercial spots. And then when we come back, we're going to give away some tickets, courtesy of Kent Riddle Properties and the Lions Pride Sports broadcast for this week's home game as the Davenport Wolves take on the Lockhart Lions. But right now, we're going to take a quick time out, and we'll be right back with some more Lockhart Lion football, with more of the Lions Roar podcast. I'm ready for some football with the Lions Roar podcast right here on the Lions Pride Sports broadcast.
I'm Andrea.
I'm Hector. Live your best life for the one you lost. That's what One Ghost is.
Nothing but diamonds around my neck and around my wrist. I'm looking good. It's a sunny day. Sunny day. It's a sunny day. It's a sunny day and we all got ghetto dreams. Diamond rings. Money.
Attention parents of all young athletes. Are you looking to take your game to the next level? Then join us at Lions Legacy, where our dedicated and experienced coaches provide free group training sessions to help you improve your skills and reach your full potential. We also offer low-cost private and sports-specific training as well. But that's not all. By joining our Legacy program, you'll have access to camps, scholarships, community events, team-building exercises, tutoring, and more throughout your school and athletic career. So come be a part of something special and start building your legacy today. Join us at Lions Legacy and let's take your game to the next level. For more info, go to www.lionslegacy.org or call us at 512-200-2005. Go Lions! Meitler Plumbing LLC is the one to call on for your plumbing service work in Lockhart and Caldwell County. Call Darren Meitler from Meitler Plumbing at 512-398-3146. Darren has been with the family business for over 30 years, and has been voted best plumber in Caldwell County numerous times. Master licensed and bonded. So, for any plumbing issues, call Meitler Plumbing for your plumbing service. Darren Meitler is also a 1989 Lockhart alumni and football captain for Lockhart Lions. Go Lions! Once a Lion, always a Lion. If you are having automotive issues, take your vehicle to Car Care Automotive located at 7000 FM 1327 Suite 4 in Austin, Texas. Head mechanic and owner Alex Juarez has over 30 years of experience, from diagnostics, AC repair and brakes, to rebuilding engines and transmissions. Car Care Automotive is the place to go to get you off your feet and your car back on the street. Call 512-945-8105 for more information.
All right, and we're back for the Lions Roar podcast right here with the Midland Stars Juarez, myself, the coach Amado Galvez, and the voice of Lulen Eagle Sports broadcast, Eric Wright. Eric Wright. Eric Lugo.
I may not always be right. I'm right sometimes.
You may be wrong. I may be right. Brad must be talking about me.
Yeah,
that's Brad Wright.
Yeah. That might be what it is, yeah.
But, all right, well, we've wrapped up week 4 of week 3 and talked about week 4 of Texas high school football for Lockhart Lions District and Lulen Eagles District. And, of course, we got a big home game coming up this week as the Davenport Wolves will be coming into Lions Field to take on the Lockhart Lions. Both teams coming in at 1-2, and both teams desperately needing a win in their Lockhart's final non-district game of the season. And I believe this is Davenport's last non-district game as well before Lockhart opens up district play in 2 weeks at Bastrop Memorial Stadium and take on the Cedar Creek Eagles. And right now, we're going to do the ticket giveaway. Of course, another opportunity for all those that haven't done so yet. If you want to enter your name into the drawing for the next giveaway, which is going to be in 2 weeks, and this will be for the Veterans Memorial Game. And, of course, Ross Alexander from War Room Straight Club is going to be joining us for that broadcast. And it's going to be a home game, and you're going to have an opportunity to be one of 3 lucky line winners. Winner number 1 will get 2 free tickets, and winner number 3 will get 3 free tickets, and winner number 3 will get 4 free tickets to the San Antonio Veterans Memorial at Lockhart Lions football game. All you got to do is in the comment section type in the words giveaway, and your name will be automatically entered into that drawing. So without any further ado, let's start the giveaway for this week's home game.
Get your rabbit's foot out.
Get your rabbit's foot out. And of course, as previous, we've got a couple of folks on there with the name on there multiple times because they watched different broadcasts and had entered in different broadcasts. Like I said, the more broadcasts you listen to and watch, the more times you have an opportunity to enter into that drawing. So we're going to go and spin for our first lucky line winner that's going to come away with 2 free tickets for this Friday night's home game versus the Davenport Wolves. So here we go.
Spinning wheel.
Yeah, best of luck to everybody. And here we go for see who's going to be the first winner. Winner number 1.
Spinning wheel. Here we go.
As it spins and spins and spins, and we'll wait till it comes to a complete stop. And Deborah Ortiz, let me wait till it stops, will be winner number 1. So congratulations to Deborah Ortiz. Of course, Deborah won the Ride and Style last week.
Right. That's all I said. That name sounds familiar.
Yeah, she wins 2 free tickets.
Deborah, you need to go to Las Vegas.
Yeah, she wins 2 free tickets to this Friday's home game between the Davenport Wolves and the Lockhart Lions. Let me find her name up there. Of course, we have to remove one of her names.
I'm sure Paul Ancita's happy. He might get those free tickets.
So, all right. Let me fix that up. All right, and here it is for – okay, there we go now.
Spin number 2?
Yeah, spin number 2 for winner number 2, who's going to get 3 free tickets for this Friday's home game, courtesy of Kent Riddle Properties and the Lions Pride Sports broadcast. As the wheel keeps on spinning.
Spinning wheel.
And for the second time, Jessica Whitaker.
All right.
Is going to win tickets. She won free tickets to the first game, the first home game for a homecoming night. So congratulations to Jessica Whitaker. You've won 3 free tickets to this Friday's home game, courtesy of Kent Riddle Properties and the Lions Pride Sports broadcast.
Hope you enjoy the game.
Oh, yes. So let me find her name and see one of her names, actually. She's on here a couple of times, too. Of course, like I said, the more you watch, the more you can enter, the more chances you have to win. All right, here's for the big one. This next one's gonna win 4 free tickets to this Friday night's home game between the Davenport Wolves and the Lockhart Lions. So here we go. We're gonna spin for that, and best of luck.
Here we go.
The wheel keeps spinning and spinning and spinning. And the winner of 4 free tickets to this Friday night's home game is going to be John Camacho.
All right.
So congratulations to John Camacho.
So John will not be at the Luling game.
Yeah.
He's going to be at the Lockhart game.
So there you have it. Lucky Lion winner number 1, Deborah Ortiz, gets 2 free tickets. Jessica Whitaker will get 3 free tickets. And John Camacho, the big winner, with 4 free tickets to this Friday night's home game.
I see John's tuned in. He's been commenting some. So,
So congratulations.
He's probably turning backflips in this living room right now.
So congratulations to all 3. Y'all win free tickets to this week's home game, courtesy of Kent Riddle Properties and the Lions Pride Sports broadcast. And once again, if you want to have an opportunity to win free tickets to the San Antonio Veterans Memorial Game when they come to Lions Field, all you got to do is in the comment section, type in the words giveaway, and your name will be automatically entered into that drawing. And remember, the more broadcasts you watch, the more opportunity, the more chance you're going to have to enter the drawing, and the more opportunities you're going to have to win an opportunity like this. And, of course, next week we will have our Ride in Style giveaway, Ride in Style to the Lockhart Lions final road game of the year, all courtesy of Texas Event Shuttle Bus, Texas Event Shuttle and the Lions Pride Sports broadcast. If you want to have your opportunity to be the 3rd winner in this, of course, Deborah Ortiz, who just won free tickets, and Sylvia Martinez are our first 2 winners, and each of them will be able to select 2 guests to come with them. Tickets will be paid for, food will be provided, and the ride to and from the game will be provided as well. Big thanks to former Lockhart Lion great Curtis Hawkins and Texas Event Shuttle. All you got to do is in the comment section, type in the words Ride Along 3, and your name will be automatically entered into that drawing. So,
Sarge, John Camacho just commented, said, I'll be at the game and streaming the Luling game.
John, we appreciate that. John, loyal to both teams. So, definitely appreciate that. Yeah, you can definitely tune in to us. I guess now's a good time. Sarge, just to let everyone know, Facebook and then YouTube. You just search Luling Eagles Sports Broadcast if you want to tune into our broadcast. And you can't get to us either one of those 2 ways. Well, we have a website. It's www.lulingeaglesSB for sportsbroadcast.com. And there is a little media player there. Sarge, thanks to him for helping us get that set up. And so if you can't reach those other 2, Facebook or YouTube, which most people can reach YouTube, anybody has access. You don't even have to have a Facebook account for that, which, of course, Facebook you would have to have, but you can go to the website, and we have had a little traffic on that website, Sarge, especially this season since we've started football. Of course, I know football has a lot to do with it, but even for some of the volleyball broadcasts, we've had a little bit of traffic on there. So appreciate you for getting us set up with that.
Hey, no problem at all. No problem at all. We're going to take a quick timeout. When we come back, we're going to have a special guest joining us by phone. So you're going to want to stay tuned and find out who that is. It's one of the many living legends from the 1971 district champion football team. And so we're going to take a quick time out. And while we do that, of course, we got that Ride in Style. And why not show the commercial spot for that, Texas Event Shuttle. And here we go. We'll be back in 60 seconds right here on the Lions Roar podcast, here on the Lions Pride Sports broadcast. Hold on. And we are back here on the Lions Roar podcast, right here on the Lions Pride Sports broadcast with myself, Emilio Sarge Juarez, the coach Amado Galvez to my left, and to his left, the voice of Luling Eagles Sports broadcast, Eric Lugo. And I want to welcome a very special guest coming on to the mic with us by way of phone call, and that's one Coach Darrell Thomas. And great running back from the 1971 District Championship football team. And I want to thank you. Thank you for coming on the podcast with us, Coach T. And, of course, it's always great to talk to you, Coach Howard. Of course, we had Coach Dollar for our kickoff show. So it's always a great conversation to have with you, whether it's on phone or in person like we've had a couple of times. So thank you for coming on the podcast with us.
Yeah, no problem. And it's my pleasure because I can say I'm a Lockhart Lion, but I have affiliation with the Luling Eagles also.
Yeah. We apologize for that.
No, because you took the words out of my mouth, and then plus I hold two handles now. Yeah. I'm Coach T and I'm Commissioner Darryl.
There you go. Congratulations on that.
So we got to they say always respect your brand, so I just always got to put it out there. But anyway, about the Luling Eagles, I heard about the things of what's going on, and I'm not going to put Luling before Lockhart.
Yeah.
But it's been a great pleasure and an honor for me to both serve both of those communities.
Oh, yeah.
So
they're having a good season.
I think I'm truly blessed.
They're having a good season this year, too.
Thank you, Coach.
Yeah, they're doing all right. My boy Tank, he had a little bit. He had some problems at the first of the game. I have to get with him and chop it up with him. But anyway, I see those young men, and I'm proud to be associated with both facilities.
Yeah, Coach Thomas, you said we didn't have much problem. We did. I don't think Tank played the other night. I didn't see him out there. If he did, it was very, very not very long. But we didn't have much trouble. We defeated Austin Eastside 47-0. So we didn't need much help from him.
I was there that Friday, and they was telling me about the game that they was fixing to have, and all of those young men. They're fine young men. They're very enthusiastic.
Yes,
and Coach Langford, he has done a tremendous job.
Yes, sir.
Tremendous job for Luling and the community and for that program. So with that, Coach Coleman with his basketball program and all the other coaches that I had time to associate with, I just want to tip my hat off and say that's a fine job. Now I'm not gonna get off in Luling too much because
yes, sir. Yeah, you got to go with number one.
But that is much glory that I can give them right there.
Yeah. Well, thank you. We appreciate what you gave us, Coach Thomas.
Real deal. I don't know. Coach Gavez knows where it's all at. No, really. Luling and for Coach Langford and Quinny and Coach Yock and all of those young men, Coach Roberto and all like that. It really was. It was a good experience for me. And plus, I had gotten older, but anyway, they gave me the opportunity, and I really enjoyed it. So, hey, kudos to like they say, in the loo.
Yeah, in the loo. He went there.
Yeah, I went there. But anyway, but what the Lockhart Lions are, I've been watching it on the podcast. I think they're just a moment away from the things that they can do.
Yes.
Yeah, that's going to turn around the program. I think Coach Mavis and all his team, and with the acquisition of the Jennings kid as coaching up there at the high school. I think we're in the progress of when we go in district. I think we're going to be all right.
Oh yes, and to me, I think a little part of that comes is finding the identity, the new identity of the offense. Because last week we had last year we had Ashton Dickens and we had Sean McKinney, we had Deontay Jackson. Right. We had some big time playmakers on the field. Not to say that we don't have playmakers now, but of course we got My Time Gonzalez, which we've seen what he can do, what he did last week at Pflugerville against Pflugerville Conley. But it's just putting those playmakers together. And of course, Ashton hasn't had the numbers that he has last year. But I think when district play comes around, or even this week, we're probably. I'm hoping we're going to see a different Ashton Dickens out there, and we're going to see the real Ashton Dickens out there. Is what I really want to say. And I think we're going to be fine going into district play. It's going to be a tough game this Friday night, but I think Lockhart's going to be able to pull it out. And this team's going to turn some heads and be ready for a district play.
Yes,
And
sir.
so, and so that you know, and then Coach Galvez know, you're just going to have to adjust your personnel. I mean, that's one kid that's on the JV. You know, I know he's new to the program, the Curry kid.
Yes.
I'm very impressed with him as far as, I mean, running backs are things, and I see some things in him that it's going to give the program good things. And so you never know. Middle of the season, he might move up. He might do some things, but I think he's going to be a great addition to the Lockhart Lions and the Lockhart
Yes, sir.
program.
Yes, sir. I agree with you.
I'm just throwing that kudos out because I watch you guys. You know, man, and he's been very impressive as far as his work ethic and what I've seen. So I'm just going to throw that out. But can I turn the tables one time and ask you guys a question?
Okay, yes, but real quick, I do want to let you know. I don't know if Coach mentioned to you what, but when we had Coach Dollar on for the kickoff show, we asked him what was the one thing that he remembers the most that he really enjoyed, and it was that was it a screen pass to you from the quarterback Howard Thompson to you. And
the Taylor game.
Yeah, the Taylor game, which really turned things around, and it was a big comeback.
Well, we practiced. That was the only play that's the new play that we put in that week for Taylor. We knew it was a big game, and it was and everybody wanted to be the main dog. But Coach Dollar, hey, you just got to call it the way it is. Coach Dollar had one play up his sleeve, and he said,
that was it.
You know, I'm gonna ride. I'm gonna ride with what I know. And so he did it, and then the only thing about that, Coach Smith, which was our backfield coach, and after I broke for 65, Coach Smith still beat me to the end zone.
Well, someone had to collect the football.
You know what I'm saying? He had the headphones on and everything, and he still beat me. And I could hear him in the back of my head. He was in front of me, run. And I'm like, damn, excuse me, but you're in the head of me. So that's the only thing that I really remember about it, because it was just like a flash of a moment. One tackle missed, and I'm like, go. And then when I got on the sideline, I just heard this in my head, and he was like 2 yards ahead of me. And he was all out of the box and everything. And then when I scored, he was like, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you beat me right. And then the whole theory of that game is that because that everybody had left. I mean, we had no chance. The Lockhart fans had left. Everybody had left. And then at the end of the game, the moral of the story: never leave the game until the final 12 minutes are over with.
Yeah, exactly. Especially that game, which was it was the biggest comeback in Lockhart Lion football history until Lockhart came back on Bastrop last year, being down by 17.
And then the whole thing, the film guy, he had put the film up and everything, so it never was captured on film.
Yeah,
it was just for the people that was there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure for years they were like, no, it really happened. Where's the film at?
So we all so when we get around each other, we all just call it the run.
Yeah. and you know what I appreciate the most about the 71 squad that y'all have, a lot of the players that I've talked to, y'all give so much praise to Coach Roy Dollar, and when we had him on the kickoff show, man, he had just the amount as equal of praise back to the football team, and in a time in 1971, that was something big, and for him to continue to remember that, of course times were rough back then. I'm not going to get into that, but
it was early 70s.
Yeah, early 70s. But
let me tell you like this: Coach Dollar in the community, and Edgar Black, and all that what they call the booster clubs about those days and those times. Hey, let me understand them, but let everybody know. And I'm not bragging.
Yeah.
But we traveled on Greyhound buses. I mean, we traveled first class. Mr. Hamlin, which was a teacher, he was the driver. And every time we win, And so we get on them Greyhound buses and all like that, and everybody else is riding Yellow Dogs. we didn't ride Yellow Dogs. We was first class, and then so on the way back after we won, we like, go Bam Bam, go Bam Bam, and Mr. Hammond, he would push that bus, and we'd be the last one to leave and the first one to get back to Lockhart. So we like, go Bam Bam.
So what he's saying is the band had to travel the Yellow Dog, right?
Like that because of the community getting behind us. You know, nowadays it's a privilege for kids to, travel. They do it now all the time, but back then in the 70s, that was unusual. Coach Dollar, we were provided the best of everything. Yeah. You never really know it, but we began to appreciate it, and so. Traveling on those type buses and things like that, it showed the community how they get behind you.
So before we had our riding style giveaway, y'all had y'all's own riding style a long time ago.
Yeah. Like the young people say, that's the way we roll.
Yeah. We were rolling like that since 1971. I don't know what you're talking about.
We were rolling like that in the 70s. And so when they see it now up in Lockhart, they still riding them Yellow Dogs. Hey, man, back in the 70s, man, we were riding them Greyhound buses, and headphones, everything.
Yeah, so, and now they got those two white buses that the varsity usually takes, or they take for playoff games and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, saw it. Let me tell you, these were Greyhound.
Yeah,
Greyhound was a Greyhound. And we had two of them, homeboy. That's where we rolled up everywhere we went. Belton, Gatesville, and that's where we went. We were like the Ringling, Barnum, and Bailey circles. We put our show on the road.
That's awesome to hear. All right, now before we went live, you said you wanted to pick our brain, so
I want to pick your brain on a couple of things.
Okay.
I'm on that barbecue picking count.
Right.
And so I'm stuck, and so I didn't already turned in. Coach Galvez has been a good asset, but couldn't find him, so I had to go ahead and turn in my picks. But I'm just going to ask you guys what you think, okay?
All right.
This is one that I'm thinking about: Jackson State and Texas State.
Texas State, definitely.
Yeah, Texas State.
Okay, Army and UTSA.
UTSA.
I'm an Army guy. I have to go with Army.
Coach, I saw UTSA up close and personal yesterday. I would say go with UTSA.
Okay, here we go. TCU and Houston.
Ooh.
I see TCU coming back. U of H lost a close one last night to Rice. I see TCU needs a win here.
Okay, here we go. North Texas and Louisiana Tech.
I'd say the Mean Green on that one.
Yeah, Mean Green.
North Texas.
North Texas. Okay, Kansas State and Missouri.
K-State.
I'm going to go with Missouri on this one.
I think I'll go with Coach Kansas State on that.
I'm going to go with Missouri because I think that's the team that can never figure out what to paint their helmets, right?
Okay. Hey, Sarge, I'm putting your name on. I'm just putting your name over there.
All right.
Okay, let's go Minnesota and North Carolina.
Ooh.
Mac Brown?
Mac Brown, yeah. Mac Brown in North Carolina.
I'm going to go with Minnesota because they struggled a lot. North Carolina did against App State. And I know App State's in the Sun Belt Conference, but I don't think they're all that great. So I'll go with Minnesota.
Okay, we real good. LSU and Mississippi State.
Woo! Mississippi State.
I'm going to say LSU.
Yeah, I'm going with an upset. Mississippi State.
LSU.
Upset. Sarge upset Mississippi State. I'm writing it down there, Sarge.
Hey, I tell you what, we're going to keep bringing you on, and of course.
Here we go. Tennessee and Florida.
Tennessee and Florida.
It depends on where that one's at.
Yeah,
Is that
where they
in
playing
the swamp or?
It's Tennessee at Florida.
Okay,
so
Florida.
Yeah.
Okay, Florida.
Oh, no, really?
Yeah.
Okay, hey, because I had already written them down, and then I'm like, oh,
you're like, wait a minute, can I get them back?
Y'all tearing me up, but here we go. BYU at Arkansas.
I would say Arkansas.
Arkansas.
Yeah.
Yeah, Arkansas.
Okay, we good. Thank you, man. I'm finally glad we all agree. Pittsburgh at West Virginia.
I'd go with the Mountaineers at home.
West Virginia.
Yeah, West Virginia.
Okay. Okay, now we're gonna get into the Pro Bowl for next week.
Here we go. Right. Let's go.
We got Ravens at the Bengals.
Oh.
Bengals are getting beat.
Yeah.
I expect them to come back.
I think Bengals, yeah. Me too.
The Ravens
Bengals.
beat Houston today 25-9, so I'm going to go with the Ravens.
Right. You'll go Ravens?
Yeah, I'm going to go Ravens.
What do you go, Coach Galvez?
Bengals.
And Bengals for me too.
Bengals too good a team to go 0-2.
Y'all are killing me, man.
And I tell you what, the Bengals just lost to Cleveland.
I'm not going to tell y'all. I'm not going to tell y'all what I already picked.
Yeah.
I'm just writing it down, and so next week when I chop it up,
all right,
and then when we come back, I'm gonna see who's really helping me and who's not. And some of y'all are, and some of y'all I'll talk to. I'll always talk to Coach Galvez. But anyway,
and actually Cleveland defeated Cincinnati 24-3.
Yeah, that's why I said I don't see them going 0-2.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do.
Colts. We got the Colts at the Texans, which were 2 rookie quarterbacks.
Colts.
Yeah, I would say the Colts. Even though I'm a Texans fan, you see, I got my shirt on. But
y'all killing me. I'm going to go. That time next week, y'all gonna see me. I'm gonna be 0-15 the way we go. But here we go. Let's go. Here's my last one.
All right.
For next week, it's gonna be Jets and the Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, Cowboys. Yeah.
You know, I love the Cowboys, and I'm gonna go with them, but it's not gonna be easy because of Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
But
so
I'm going with the Cowboys. Yeah, I'm going with the Cowboys.
Okay. Hey, if you don't mind, Sergeant, every week on this podcast, let's chop it up like that.
Hey, yeah, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be in contact with you.
Sir.
We're going to start it up. Chop it up with Coach T.
And T, you can easily
let's chop it up with Coach T.
T, you can actually.
And then let me tell you, and the only reason I'm doing it is because I'm trying to do it for the Ermine Carter Scholarship Foundation.
Okay.
And you know the pick and pound, and we're doing it for the fair charity of myself.
Sir.
But, you know, just the competitive brother that I am, I'm in it to win it.
I hear you.
Hey, Coach T, you can
actually. And you know what? And if you and Coach Galvez don't mind, the next week, I ain't go. Let's don't talk on the phone. Let's talk personally.
Yeah, I was going to say, you can join us live.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be at a special location next week, but we'll get with you. We'll let you know.
Yeah, definitely.
Hey, give me the location. I'll bring Coach Thompson. We'll bring the boys.
All right, hey, that sounds good.
We'll chop it up. Hey, into them Luling Eagles,
yes, sir.
Coach Langford, Quinny, and all the boys, tell them that Coach Thompson said hello, man.
Yeah, I sure will, Coach. I'll tell them that. I'll deliver that message. Yes, sir.
And then look here. You tell Keegan to quit dropping that ball down and pick it up so he can throw a pass or two. I can talk ruling football, long football all day. But anyway, we all good.
Thanks,
hey, man,
Coach.
I think,
appreciate that.
Hey, Coach Galvez, Sarge, and everybody, I thank y'all for having me.
Yes,
and
sir.
I look forward to chopping it up with you guys weekend and weekend.
Anytime, Coach.
Yeah, chop it up. Chop talk with Coach T. I like that. I like that. Hey, just like you did in 1971, we're gonna roll with that. We're gonna roll with it.
Like I said on one of my Facebook posts, from a quote from Deion Sanders, that give me my theme music.
Well, Coach,
hey, I'm gonna have it for you next week. All right, I'm gonna have it for you next week. I'm gonna give you your theme music.
Like I told Dylan, I meant when I said that. Give me my theme music. Welcome to the Hotel California, baby.
Before you go, Coach, I just want to tell you this man right here to my right. He had, before I ever even knew who you were, he had nothing but positive things to say about you, and I can only say that he was absolutely correct and then some. So it's been a joy to talk to you, and I hope you do come on every week with us. We sure would like it. I know.
Oh yeah, and
you know what? And then when them Lulins have a broadcast, if I can't get to Lockhart, I'm going to come down to Lulin and come up in the booth.
You're more than welcome to come join us, sir, anytime you'd like. Yes, sir.
Hey, you know what? Just like in that movie, I'm going to Get You, Sucker, they said every hero needs a theme song. So I'm going to have you a theme song by next week, all right? I'm going to have you one.
And as I told them, and all them young men that I told, they said, hey, this could be heaven or this could be hell. Like, give me my theme music. Welcome to the Hotel California.
I hear you.
Awesome.
I hear you.
Thank you, Coach
Hey,
T.
so thank you so much for having me, man.
Thank you for joining us, and we'll look forward to having you back on again next week with us as we chop it up with Coach T.
We chopping it up with Coach T.
Chopping it
I'll
up.
talk to you later.
There you go. Segment named already.
All right, Coach T. You have a good one.
All right, bye.
All right,
Take care.
bye.
Take care.
And once again, big shout out. That was Coach Darrell Thomas, running back for the Lockhart Lions, 1971.
Number 33.
Number 33, district champions. Last time Lockhart won a district championship, and of course Lockhart's going to be looking to try and break that and be district champs. Of course, it's not going to be easy. We've had a rough 3 weeks of football, or say 2 of the 3 weeks. But just like Coach T said, the coaching staff is going to get things squared away. This is a team that got a lot of talent, just needs to find the personnel to put in the right spot. And with my time and Ashton Dickens and in the backfield, Gage Deutsch, and you throw out there even Jason Frohock. And once they get healed up, we got Ethan Aguirre, we got even Caden Mavis that they've made some catches for us. You know, may not be impact plays at the time, but I think going forward, as this young receiving group gets more and more playing time, I think we're just going to be that much more dangerous, not just on the ground, but in the air. And that's gonna be a sight to see when they finally put it together.
Yes, sir.
And they got this week to put the final fixings together, and then it's time to start eating in district play. Of course, district play is going to determine whether you're going to go to the playoffs or not, and where you're going to go into the playoffs. So it's going to be a great time. And once again, big shout out to Coach T for joining us. You know, it's always great to talk to Coach T, Coach Howard, and finally got a chance to Roy Dollar at the beginning of the year, and looking forward to a great season, Coach.
Yes, sir.
All right, so we're going to take a quick timeout. When we come back, we'll start talking about NCAA football. The new AP rankings is up, and we'll get to that. We'll talk about the big win by the Texas Longhorns, and as well as the UTSA Roadrunners, and the big loss by the Texas A&M Aggies to the Miami Hurricanes. All right, we're going to take a quick timeout, and we'll be right back with some more of the Lions Roar podcast right here on the Lions Pride Sports Broadcast.
Old Pal Texas Tavern, located on the square in downtown Lockhart at 100 East Market Street. From a variety of appetizers, fried chicken, burgers, and salads, Old Pal is the right place for your hunger. We're open 7 days a week, Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m., and Fridays and Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 12 a.m. Our kitchen will be open late for Lockhart Lions Friday Night Lights home games. Old Pal Texas Tavern's cold drinks, fried chicken, and famous smash burgers are perfect for your after-game score. At Old Pals, we are proud supporters of the Lockhart Lions and the Lions Pride Sports Broadcast.
Working hand in hand with the community to keep our Lions safe. This school year, Lockhart ISD is launching Lion Guard, a community watch program in which individuals can apply to volunteer and be a positive presence on the campuses for students while also monitoring and checking for any potential safety concerns. All Lion Guard volunteers must undergo a criminal background check and will participate in civilian response to active shooter events training and Stop the Bleed training. Anyone who is interested is welcome to apply. Go to the Lockhart ISD website and from the menu tab click on Parents and scroll down to hit the Volunteer in LISD. Join the Pride of Lockhart. Tab and sign up.
Nestled on the outskirts of Luling and Lockhart is the beautiful and quaint chapel on Mayberry Hill. A tiny wedding chapel specializing in micro-weddings, vow renewals, officiant services, and as a photography venue. The chapel is both rustic and elegant, as it sits atop the wooded grounds of a private residence. Named after the homestead and hill it rests upon, the chapel features a cedar accent wall, stunning cedar slatted high ceilings, genuine hardwood floors, and beautifully restored stained glass windows. The Mayberrys are both ordained ministers and enjoy the opportunity to provide small, affordable and stress-free micro-wedding ceremonies, with a wide range of services and all-inclusive packages. Follow the chapel on social media or see their website at chapelonmayberryhill.net.
All right, and we're back here on the Lions Roar podcast with myself, Emilio Sarge Juarez, the coach Amado Galvez, and to his left, the voice of Luling Eagle Sports Broadcast, Eric Lugo. I got your name right this time. And once again, another big shout out to Coach T for coming on and chopping it up with us. Of course, I like the way he brought it in, and we're going to continue on with it. Every Sunday, we'll have a Chop It Up with Coach T here on the Lions Roar podcast, and it'll be by way of phone. Hopefully, he'll be able to come in, and we'll be in person to do that as well also. And it's always great to talk to Coach T, Coach Howard, and I can't give enough praise for that 1971 squad that have been fortunate enough to meet. From the coaching staff all the way down to the football players. So, big shout out to all you, and thank you, Coach T, for coming on once again.
Yes, sir.
And of course, the new college AP poll is out for the top 25. And the top 3 is Georgia, Michigan, and Florida State.
Okay.
Florida State moves up from the number 4 spot. Georgia and Michigan stay at 1 and 2. Moving up to the 4th spot, moving up from 11th, number 11 last week, is the Texas Longhorns, who defeated the Alabama Crimson Tide, and not just beat the Crimson Tide, but they beat them at home and broke several records at that, as the Crimson Tide hadn't lost in many years or many games.
21.
21 games, home games, and Texas was able to beat them. Of course, Texas lost to Alabama last year, 20-19 on a last-second field goal, but Texas easily handled them, and we'll get to that here a little bit later on. Moving from 6 to 5, actually swapping places. Southern Cal was at 5. Ohio State got bumped down to number 6. And remaining in the number 7 and 8 spots, Penn State and Washington, respectively. And real quick, Texas did get 2 first-place votes from the AP. So Georgia got 55, Michigan 2, Florida State 3, and Texas 2.
But before you go any further, Sarge, if the playoffs started right now, the 4 teams that would be going would be
Georgia, Michigan, Florida State, and Texas. It would be Georgia versus Texas, and Michigan versus Florida State. And of course,
that would be some good ball games.
Oh yeah, 7 and 8, Penn State and Washington. Notre Dame moves up from the number 10 spot to go to number 9. Alabama drops all the way down to 10. Tennessee drops down from 9 to 11. Utah stays the same at number 12. Oregon remains the same, as well as LSU, Kansas State, and Oregon State, 13, 14, 15, and 16, respectively. Ole Miss moves up from number 20 to 17. The Colorado Buffaloes move up, as they had a big win at home against Nebraska. They go from number 22 to 18. And despite winning, Oklahoma dropped down from 18 and are ranked 19. North Carolina dropped from 17 to 20. Duke Blue Devils remain at 21. And not ranked last week, but moving into the ranks, that number 22, Miami Hurricanes, after beating the Aggies at Miami. Number 23, Washington State Cougars. 24, UCLA Bruins. And number 25, the Iowa Hawkeyes round out the top 25. And any surprises in the top 25, Coach?
No. Of course, the biggest one being UT. I tell you what, Sarge, one of the greatest feelings I had from the win last night, of watching all those Alabama fans walk out.
Was it? Oh my goodness, the game wasn't even over. I believe they had halfway through the fourth quarter, and they showed the fans starting walking out at the stadium, and there's no better feeling than that, especially for the players, for them to turn around and see the home team walking out their own stadium is like walking out on their team.
Yes. That was a great feeling right there. That was especially, and then the win was just fantastic.
Yeah, and it was such a dominating win that it's almost Texas and Alabama switched places on the AP Top 25. Mm-hmm. Texas went up to number 4, and Alabama dropped all the way down to 10. So that's the biggest gain and biggest drop of the week for the AP Top 25. And, of course, the stat line for the Alabama and Texas game, time of possession, Texas led in that 33-27. First downs, once again, 23-18. Total yards, Texas had 454, while Alabama had 362. Passing 349 for Mr. Ewers, and 255 for Alabama. And one of the two stats that Alabama really had over the Texas Longhorns was rushing yards, 107 to 105, which is kind of shocking because Texas is a team that usually puts up right around almost 200 yards per game in rushing, and to be only held to 105 and still come out with a victory the way they did was impressive. And another stat line that Alabama had more of than Texas was penalties, 10 to 4. And total plays, Texas had 75, Alabama had 62. And that goes to the great defense. They picked off the quarterback for Alabama a couple of times who had 2 turnovers, and those were interceptions. So Texas Longhorns come out of Alabama with a big win.
Yes, sir.
A big win.
Big win. And the key here, Sarge, is to be ready for next week. They have a very good Wyoming team coming to town.
Yes.
They beat Texas Tech the first game of the season, and I expect the Wyoming Cowboys to bring their A game with them.
And this could be a trap game for the Texas
sir.
Longhorns if they try to look past them and go look into next week.
What's that Parcells say? Don't eat the cheese.
Right.
And so they're going to be they're in for a test, but I expect a huge turnout for the UT game on Saturday. It's at 7 o'clock, so I expect them the fans to get them up and going.
Yeah. As for the Texas A&M versus Miami Hurricanes game, of course, Miami came out with a victory. Time of possession was in the favor of the Aggies as well as first downs, 26-16. But total yards, 451 for Miami, 433 for A&M. Passing yards, 374 to 336 in Miami's favor. Rushing yards, both teams were below 100 yards. Was surprising once again, but A&M had 97, Miami had 77. Miami led in penalties, 10-7. Total plays, 84 to 54. Aggies above that, and that's kind of strange. Usually, if you have more plays, more than the other team, in this one, almost 30 plays more, you kind of figure that your team is going to come up with a victory.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But the big number in this, the stat in this, is A&M turned the ball over 3 times, and the Hurricanes only once. So big. I wouldn't say a shocker, but I kind of thought A&M was going to take control of this game, but at Miami, you never know what could happen against the Hurricanes.
I think I actually picked A&M to win, which I won't this week.
I got the Hurricanes. I'm going to make sure I put them on. So, as for the Texas State Bobcats and UTSA Roadrunners, of course, we'll get some insight from Coach, the coach right here, and Eric Lugo. First downs, UTSA 28-13. Total yards. Once again, UTSA 372 total, 214 in the air, as to 211 in the air for Texas State. On the ground, UTSA ran for 158, while the Bobcats only ran for 31. Fumbles, UTSA lost 1 fumble. And time of possession, 37 minutes for UTSA, 22 for Texas State. And the big number that I'm looking at right here is a 31 yards rushing total for the Texas State Bobcats, and give it up to the Roadrunner defense and keeping that, as I think can't pronounce his last name, but the leading rusher for Texas State only carried the ball 8 times for 23 yards.
Wow.
So I think it's Maldal, if I'm correct.
Yeah, I think it's Mahdi.
Mahdi, okay.
His name, yes.
All right. Well, you were actually there at the game, Eric.
Yes, sir, I was there.
Talk about it.
Yeah, it was. I think the Texas State Bobcats missed on some opportunities that easily could have won that game. There was one instance where T.J. Finley overthrew a wide-open receiver that, had he connected with him, would have been a walk-in touchdown. And then there was another one early in the fourth quarter where he, after we recovered that fumble you just mentioned, he went deep and completed the pass to our receiver, but and I mentioned in the coach before we came on today that there was nobody within about 5 yards of that receiver, but yet he caught the ball, he fell, so he was down at the 7-yard line of UTSA, and then the very next play before he could snap the ball, there was a false start on Trent Scott, the Luling.
Luling Eagle guy,
the former Luling Eagle. He was called for a false start, back to 5 yards, and then pretty much from there we got behind the 8 ball. I believe T.J. Finley was sacked on that drive, and then we ended up with a field goal, but easily could have ended up with a touchdown.
Yeah.
And instead of being a tie game 17-17, ended up being 17-13. UTSA then went on the ensuing drive and kicked a field goal, made it 20-13. Excuse me, sorry.
Yeah.
And then, so then after that, the Bobcats had pretty much one final opportunity, didn't do much with the ball, ended up losing a lot of yards, had to put it away. And then UTSA only had to make a couple of first downs, which they did, and then just ended up running out the clock, and that was the final, 20-13.
Yeah, and I do got something to say about Trent Scott. Trent Scott came from a team, Luling Eagle team, that was 0-10 and had lost, I think it was like 2 years in a row that he was
Correct.
on the team.
Mm-hmm.
But for him to still be able to get a scholarship to play at Texas State
Exactly.
just goes to show, it doesn't matter what
Right.
where you're at in team-wise. If you put out the effort 110% each and every single time, you're going to get noticed. And, big shout out to Trent Scott.
For sure.
Big shout out to
And
Trent
he was
Scott for not getting down, but being a force right there for the Luling Eagles got him noticed. And look at him, he's playing on Saturday
and
afternoon.
It was a big part of that game yesterday. I'm not sure, he normally wears 55, but for some reason yesterday he had 52 on. When I talked to him, I'll have to find out why that was. I don't know if there was an issue with his jersey. I know sometimes if they get blood on their jersey, they won't let them wear it that way. They have to take it off. So I'm not sure exactly what happened, but he did. I think what ended up happening, from my understanding from Kev Chardello that covers the Bobcats, what I've seen, what he had online, there was a man ahead of Trent in the what do you call it, the two deep, but I believe that man got hurt early in in the midway through the first quarter, or maybe early in the second quarter, and I think that's why Trent played quite a bit yesterday. He was in there.
Yeah.
He was I think they had him at tackle, at the end of the line. So, but he did. The plays I watched him, when he was out there, he did a wonderful job of protecting T.J. Finley, and so it wasn't really, that wasn't the issue. I think what you hit on it, Sarge, it was the rushing. The interior line of the UTSA Roadrunners was excellent. They just would not let the Bobcats get the running game going, and of course, I know this man right here to my right knows well that you can't be one-dimensional and expect to win a game. So, the fact that the Texas State Bobcats could run the ball, that just wasn't very good for us. So hopefully we have Jackson State, the first two home games for the Texas State Bobcats these next two Saturdays. Starting this Saturday, Jackson State will be coming into Bobcat Stadium, and then the following Saturday it'll be the Nevada Wolfpack. So they'll be coming to Bobcat Stadium. So we're hoping that we'll get 2 wins there. And then if we're 3-1, I think that's more than any Bobcat fan could have hoped for, after 4 games. So we'll see what happens, Sarge. But yeah, we would have liked to have gone 2-0. Of course, it didn't happen. But at least we're not 0-2. We'll say that. So and that's like a lot of folks out there expected the Bobcats to very well be 0-2 after the first 2 games. So and instead we're 1-1. So you got always look at the bright side, and then like Coach Galvez mentioned earlier, you got to move on. Well, the game is now, it's over, done with. You can't do anything about it. So now you just got to move forward and look ahead for Jackson State.
Well, somebody should have told that to the Baylor Bears, because after losing to Texas State last week, they took another hard loss this past week. So
to Utah.
And guess who Baylor plays the following week? UT.
So it doesn't get any easier for them. But, it's one thing that I asked you, Coach, about Shocker is ranked number 1. And, of course, I saw a comment, John Camacho. Georgia ranked number 1, and they haven't really played anybody yet. UT Martin and Ball State.
They're the champion.
Yeah.
You got to give kudos to the champion. You got, like I said, to beat the champ, you have to beat the champ.
Yeah,
So,
but if you take a look at Michigan and Florida State, they've already had some bigger quality games, and they are 2-0 as well. Also, and of course you got Texas. They beat Rice. They beat up on Rice, but they also beat up on Alabama too.
A pretty good Alabama football team. And you know what? I don't see Alabama losing anytime soon.
No, I see them running the table, and like I said, like you said, what did Nick Saban tell his team? We'll see him again.
Don't let a good team beat you twice.
Yeah, don't let a good team beat you twice, and that says a lot right there as the confidence. And I'm pretty sure we'll see Texas and Alabama again down the road later on this year if
yeah.
both teams can remain focused.
Yes.
And both teams.
Unfortunately, we may have to play them again.
Yeah. And of course, Georgia, they defeated UT Martin 48-7, Ball State 45-3, so they remain at number 1. They're going to be taking on South Carolina this weekend, so that's not going to be an easy game for them. Just depends on what kind of South Carolina team is going to step out onto that field, and that one's going to be at Georgia. So,
good
wow,
game.
Georgia
good game.
Bulldogs have 4 straight home games before they hit the road.
Yes, sir. Good games.
And that
good
road
games
game
coming up.
Yeah, that road game is going to be in Auburn. So, but we're going to take another quick timeout, about 60 seconds, and when we come back, we'll run through the football schedule of the NFL and go through some games that's already been completed and some games that are going on right now. And that'll lead up to the Dallas Cowboys Sunday night football game and the Bills versus the Jets on Friday night. But right now, we're going to take a quick time out, and we'll be right back with some more of the Lions Roar podcast right here on the Lions Pride Sports broadcast.
On Monday night.
Richie 360 Photo Booth Rentals is your one-stop shop for your next event. Whether it's weddings, baby showers, birthdays, graduations, and more. You can have the best of both worlds with our 360 video booth and mini booth mirror. The 360 Photo Booth is a revolutionary next-level photo booth experience. The revolving camera surrounds attendees, capturing a 360-degree slow-motion movie that your guests will remember forever. Here at Richie 360 Photo Booth, this is where moments turn into memories. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook.
If you find yourself stuck on the side of the road or in an accident, call Quantum Towing and Recovery at 512-295-8697. Quantum Towing has been a family-owned business since its inception in 2000. We offer 24-hour towing and recovery services for your vehicle. We also offer a wide range of services such as lockouts, jump starts, tire change, wrench outs, and environmental hazard cleanups. With 4 locations that cover Kyle, San Marcos, Hulen, and Lockhart. Quantum Towing is only a phone call away for all of your towing needs.
LoneStarGridiron.com. Access the complete history of Texas high school football, over 100 years of information, win-loss records, coaching histories, individual stats, records, and more. Lone Star Gridiron, the authority on Texas high school football.
All right, and we're back here for the last segment of the Lions Roar podcast, right here on the Lions Pride Sports broadcast with myself, Emilio Sarsuarez, the coach of Amado Galvez, and Eric Lugo, the voice of Lulen Eagle Sports. And, gentlemen, NFL kicked off this past
today.
Today. Well, actually Thursday.
Had a game Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday. And I'll tell you, I was shocked when I saw the final when I woke up the next morning and saw the Detroit Lions defeated the Kansas City Chiefs.
Detroit's a very good football team.
Yeah, don't sleep on the Lions this year.
No.
Lockhart or Detroit, either one. Don't sleep on either one. But Detroit comes out with a big victory at KC at Arrowhead, which is not an easy thing to do. And, of course, they say, well, Travis Kelce wasn't out there on the field. Well, it doesn't matter. You still have Patrick Mahomes out there and a host of other wide receivers. So, they picked off Mahomes. And I tell you what, big hats off to the Detroit Lions. That's been one team that's always had their struggles. They've had their ups, but they had more of their downs than anything. And for them to come out with a victory on the first on a Thursday night football to start the season off is huge. And earlier today, we saw the Carolina Panthers lose to the Atlanta Falcons, 24-10. And, of course, always favorite, Houston Texans, defeated by the Baltimore Ravens, 25-9. Cleveland Eagles.
Browns.
Yeah, Cleveland Browns. I wonder if it's Cleveland Eagles. Huh? Cleveland Browns defeated the Bengals, 24-3.
Wow.
Jacksonville handled business at Indianapolis, 31-21. Tampa Bay. I believe they got a new quarterback, Baker Mayfield, if I'm correct. 20-17 over the Minnesota Vikings, with the shocker because I was expecting Minnesota to be one of the top teams this year. Tennessee Titans lose by 1 to New Orleans, 16-15. And at Pittsburgh, San Francisco, 30-7 over the Pittsburgh Steelers.
All over the Steelers.
Yeah. And the Washington Redskins, I'm going to call them the Redskins, they ain't no Commanders, defeated the Arizona Cardinals by a final 20-16.
Wow.
And the games we got in action right now at the start of the second quarter, Green Bay 7, Chicago 3. 12:32 left to go in the second quarter. It is the Las Vegas Raiders 7-6. The Raiders are in the red zone area with 11:55 left to go in the second. Miami Dolphins and Los Angeles Chargers are all tied up at 7 apiece, and the Dolphins are in the red zone. And New England, it is Philadelphia Eagles, the defending NFC champs, 16-0 over the Patriots.
Wow.
Yeah, with that starting off the second quarter. 10:32 left to go in the second quarter. It is at Seattle. It is L.A. Rams 7, Seattle Seahawks 3. And, of course, the big football game tonight, I'm pretty sure Juan Mendoza is sitting back, getting his popcorn ready. He'll be ready to go to bed early, around 8 o'clock, after the Dallas Cowboys whoop on the New York Giants tonight at 7:20 p.m. On NBC, of course, there's a lot of stuff going on with NBC being removed from some cable distributors.
DirecTV.
From DirecTV, but if you got Peacock, or if anything, I think they got a 1-week free trial. Sign up for it after the game. Cut it off. But it's the Cowboys and the Giants tonight, 7:20 p.m. And I know, Coach, you're looking forward to that game.
Oh, definitely. Big game. First game's always important. Want to get off to a good start and get a win. And
it's going to be interesting to see the Cowboys after the Ezekiel Elliott era with Tony Pollard in the backfield and some other young running backs, but one, Deuce Vaughn. Was he like he's like 4'3", 120 pounds, soaking wet, but he really showed out during preseason and made the 53-man roster. And
hard man to tackle.
Yeah, it's kind of hard. You have these 6'8" guys you got to bend over to get him down to tackle him. So, and of course on Monday night, the Buffalo Bills at Rutherford Stadium taking on the New York Jets, where Aaron Rodgers is now their starting quarterback for the Jets. And of course, Buffalo almost made it to the Super Bowl last year. Had a great team, but look forward to seeing this matchup as well. Not because Aaron Rodgers is on the team, but I kind of want New York Jets to have a better season than the Giants. So I'm going to root for the Jets over the Giants anytime.
Okay.
So.
Well, good luck to all the NFL teams that are still out there playing.
Oh yeah. So it's football is in full swing now.
Yes.
High school started up first. College started up next, and now with the NFL, it's in full swing. What do we need now? The Canadian Football League, the Arena Football League, the lingerie football. What do they call it? The Legacy.
And we'll have our first junior high game here in Lockhart on Tuesday against Lockhart 8th grade against the San Marcos Miller Diamondbacks.
Oh yeah. So that's going to start our broadcast for this week. Of course, on Thursday we'll have our sub-varsity game of the week, as the freshman Lions 3-0 will welcome the Davenport Wolves to Lions Stadium, and we'll catch all that action right here on the Lions Pride Sports broadcast on our YouTube channel. And then on Friday night, it'll be the varsity boys taking action on the field, and they're going to be welcoming the Davenport Wolves. Both teams are coming into District 1 and 2, or non-district play, 1 and 2. So both teams looking for a big victory to go to 2 and 2 before heading into district play. And once again, want to give a big shout-out to our winners for our free ticket giveaway, courtesy of Kent Riddle Properties on the Lions Pride Sports broadcast. Deborah Ortiz won 2 free tickets to this week's home game. And Jessica Whitaker won 3 free tickets to this week's home game. And John Camacho, the big winner, got 4 free tickets to this week's home game, all courtesy of Kent Riddle Properties and the Lions Pride Sports broadcast. So if you see Kent Riddle out there, out and about, give him a big thank you, because big support from Kent Riddle to allow us to be able to do something like this, to give back to the Lockhart Lion fans of the community of Lockhart, Texas, that follows these Lockhart Lions. This is our way to give back to you, and big shout out to Kent Riddle, because without Kent Riddle, I don't think we'd be able to accomplish something like this. But great fan of Lockhart Lion Sports and a great supporter of Lions Pride Sports broadcast. Of course, Kent Riddle is our main sponsor, and not only that, he takes the time to sit back in his studio, got everything set up for Friday night, because he's a QA for us to make sure that we sound good and look good for all you Lockhart Lion fans and any opposing fans that may be tuning in to watch the football game right here on the Lions Pride Sports broadcast.
Thank you, Mr. Riddle.
Oh, yeah. And your broadcast schedule for this week, Eric?
Yes, sir. For this week, we Tuesday night, the volleyball will be taking on San Antonio Greyhearts Northern Oaks, and first district home game of the 2023 volleyball season. They had a game Friday before the varsity played their football game. It was at Universal City Randolph, and they did lose that game, is my understanding. So they start off the district season 0-1, but hopefully they can bounce back on Tuesday there at Eagle High School gym and get back to 1-1 in district play. And then on Friday, of course, as I mentioned earlier, the Bowling Bulldogs will be coming to Eagle Memorial Stadium. We'll have that game. Kickoffs at 7:30. It's the last kickoff at 7:30 for this season. All the other ones from after this week are going to be at 7 o'clock. So, but this one will be at 7:30, and so we'll be going on the air just a little bit before that. And then there's one other thing I want to mention too, Sarge. We got word during this past week that the Texas State, speaking of Texas State University, the Texas State Bobcats softball team is going to be hosting a softball clinic in Luling. So my understanding is it's open pretty much to any girl that's interested. If you want more information on it, you would go to lulinglittleleague.com, lulinglittleleague.com. I didn't want to say it wrong. I didn't want to make sure that's what it is. But, yeah, and so it's going to be a $20 fee, and that $20 fee is going to go toward the expenses for the Luling Little League for the 2024 spring season. So anyone, even I imagine even you Lockhart folks, if you're tuned in, you have youngsters that might be interested in going to that clinic. I'm sure that they'll welcome you there. It's going to be at the Northside Park there in Luling, there on the all the fields are at for Little League and and Senior Little League and that sort of thing. And so it's really nice of them to, and I'm talking about the Texas State University softball team, to have folks that are willing to come down there and teach the young kids, and even some of the high schoolers, how to, the fundamentals of softball, and and then we have a new softball coach there in Luling. His name is Justin Higginbotham, and I know I'm sure he spread the word. I did let him know. I haven't heard from him. I haven't talked to him, but I'm sure if I know him in the short time I've known him, he's pretty open with his communication with the team that he's going to be inheriting this year. And so I'm sure he's gotten word to them. So, but like I said, it's open. My understanding is open to anyone. It says here I'm looking at the website. I'm looking at the post they have on it, and it says any birth year from 2007 to 2015. And I would imagine that if you talk to them and you have like a junior or a senior, and maybe they were born maybe even a little bit before, like 2007, I imagine they would still let them. You would just have to talk. I think you could reach out to them and get information. It's Curtis Cyphers is the president there for the Luling Little League, and then Alex Dean is, as I'm looking at it, a former Texas State softball player, which I didn't know. I haven't met Alex Dean that I know of, so I look forward to meeting that person. Because I'm planning on going over there Thursday and checking it out and kind of see if I may post some things, whatever I'm allowed to post for our page, and kind of just to thank them for taking the time out to come and do something like that. So pretty busy week in Luling. Usually, this time of year, every week seems like it's busy, but especially this week, we got quite a bit going on. So
good luck to y'all.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate that.
Oh, yeah, and I'll get that information from you, Eric, and I'll post it up on our Facebook page as well also,
sure.
So everybody get an opportunity to take it out, check it out, and, hopefully attend it. So
exactly. Not every day that and they're a top-notch. Not only are they a softball program, on the Division I level, but they're a top-notch. They're one of the better teams in the Sun Belt Conference. So I mean, the fact that they're willing to come over here, to Luling, that don't happen every day. So you got to take advantage of it when it does happen. So hopefully that we'll get they'll get a pretty big crowd out there. So.
Oh yeah. So, real quick, let me go through some of these NFL scores. I should have refreshed the one we've won before.
Yeah.
At halftime, Green Bay 10, Chicago 6. Just out of halftime, starting the third quarter, is Denver 13, Las Vegas 10. At halftime, Miami 20, Los Angeles Chargers 17. At halftime, the Patriots have came back. It is Philadelphia 16, New England 14. At Seattle, it is 13-7 over the Rams. And once again, tonight, 7:20, the Dallas Cowboys take on the New York Little Giants at Giant Stadium, or Rutherford Stadium, wherever they want to call it. Of course, when the Jets play there, it's Rutherford Stadium. When the Giants play there, it's Giant Stadium.
They call it MetLife Stadium
MetLife,
now.
okay.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, just ruin it with the tag name. So, but that's going to do it for the Lions Roar podcast. But before we go, any final words, Eric?
No, just like I said, we got a busy week there in Luling. If you could join us for the volleyball match, that'll be about 6:15 on Tuesday, and then Friday the game. Definitely, that's the biggest thing against the Bowling Bulldogs there at Eagle Memorial Stadium. We'd appreciate it, I think, and just. Thanks to Coach Thomas for coming on with us again. I really enjoyed that.
Oh yeah, he's going to be coming on with us more often now.
For sure. So, and then I know I'm going to get with you after we wrap up here because we got some technical issues going on with our stuff. So, and thanks. I want to thank you, Sarge, and while we're here publicly for what you do for us, because even though you're no longer really a part of us, you kind of are a part of us because you still help us behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So, and you're always be considered the founder no matter what, because you did get the our broadcast outfit going over there in Luling. So, didn't want to take the time here publicly to thank you for everything you do for us and
it was a pleasure.
And continue to do for
us.
It's
a pleasure.
Yeah. So yeah.
Hey, Coach.
I'd like to thank John Camacho for tuning in, and also Richard Ibarra, and a special big thanks to Coach Darrell Thomas. And I want to. Next week we'll have some CFPO starts this week, and we want to get some scores on them, and they kick off their big season this coming week. And so good luck to all those, not just the teams from Lockhart, but the teams from Luling also.
Yeah.
And I want to wish Luling good luck this week, and good luck to the Lockhart Lions.
Oh yeah.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate that.
Oh yeah. Once again, thanks to Coach T for coming on, and congratulations to Deborah Ortiz, Jessica Whitaker, and John Camacho. You all are the winners for the ticket giveaway this way. I want to thank everybody for tuning in and chimed in and had some comments to share with us, and had a great time with Coach T. And of course, we're going to be starting up to chop it up with Coach T from now on. And I tell you what, that was fun. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that. I really enjoyed that.
Sergeant, I want to say Coach Galvez and I are already looking forward. He mentioned it, and I was kind of thinking it, but he said it out loud. The next ride along, we're looking forward to even though we have no dog in the fight, we love that part of your show. So we're looking forward to that too.
Oh yeah, that ride along. We're going to have our next winner is going to be selected next weekend on Sunday during the Lions Roar podcast. And I'll get that date out. We'll talk about it throughout the three broadcasts we're going to have up until then. Of course, I didn't get the schedule for the Cowboys. I got to find out what time they play next Sunday.
3:30.
3:30? Okay, so it'll probably be, I don't know. I'll have to talk to Coach because I know we got to schedule it around the coach because he's not missing the Cowboy game. I could put it on the TV in here. No.
Not good enough. All right, no.
I'll ask Coach a question. Be like, what? But, we'll schedule it, and we'll let y'all know during the week what time it's going to be, and I'll post it up on the Lions Pride Sports Broadcast Facebook page. Lions Pride Sports Broadcast Facebook page, and we'll put up the date and time. Of course, it's going to be on Sunday, but we'll figure out the time.
And if you could put that on our page, too. I'm starting to spread the word, so let I know come on with you guys every week.
We could do that, and we'll select winner number 3 of the ride-along. And once again, you have an opportunity to enter your name into that drawing. All you got to do is in the comment section, type in ride-along 3. And if you want to enter your name into the next ticket giveaway, type in the words giveaway. Simple as that, and your name will be entered. Remember, the more broadcasts you watch, and the more opportunities you have to enter, which means it increases your chances to be a winner. So, but once again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in to this edition of the Lions Roar podcast with myself, Emilio Sarge Juarez, the coach, Amado Galvez, and Eric Lugo. And I want to thank everybody once again, and we'll be back on the air this Tuesday for Junior Night Football here on the Lions Pride Sports broadcast. But until then, y'all take care. And like I always say, you can take the line out of Lockhart, but you can never take the heart out of Lockhart. Go Lions.
Thank you for watching today's broadcast of Lockhart Lions Sports, brought to you by Kent Riddle Properties on the Lions Pride Sports broadcast. And remember, like the Sarge always says, you can take the lion out of Lockhart, But you can never take the heart out of Lockhart.